Alison Clay-Duboff here with Remax Estate Properties and president of Salty Water Properties. And let me ask you a question. Did you guys feel a jolt or a shock this morning? Well, we had an earthquake and it was quite a shock. It was 4 point something, but you know what's even a bigger shock? Not being prepared for when we age or our parents age. And so today I've brought together these two amazing ladies, Dina and Marty, and we are going to talk about how we can alleviate the shock, the jolt, the earthquake of getting older and our parents getting older and what we can do about it. I mean, if you're lucky enough to live long enough, did you ever think that maybe you would need someone to help clear your house out, guide you through that process? Did you think that perhaps you might need long-term health insurance? And then eventually, usually people downsize, upsize, and then they need to sell their home. So today, here we are, the trifecta of life with Dina and Marty. And Dina, why don't you take it away and tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Thank you, Alison and Marty. Thanks for letting me join your trifecta. So I am Dina Mabry and I'm with BGA Insurance. And what that stands for is Brokerage General Agency. And what we are is we're really an insurance broker looking out for women and men to protect their two things, dying too soon or living too long. But for today's purposes, we talk about long-term care and how are we going to afford to live a long life? Because living is expensive. So we talk about all this money we're trying to accumulate and save, but what if we have a long-term care event? Things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and things that we live with. How are we going to afford care? I'm here to say your kids do not want to take care of you, so you need to plan ahead and be independent.
And Marty, tell us how you fit into this trifecta triangle of homes, buying and selling, long-term care insurance. And
you got it. Well, you deal with the
home solutions.
Thank you. Marty Stevens-Heebner, Clear Home Solutions. We manage the treasures of your lifetime and all the other stuff. When it's time to move or to clear out a home, make it work for aging in place, so we kind of recalibrate the home or do a home inventory. So you know what you have in your estate or somebody, maybe your parents had in their estate. The idea is, it's not just the things that you have, it's the emotions surrounding them. And I've been known actually to bring my own team in to help me, because going through everything you have and making sure you have all your documents in place, making sure that you know where all the pieces of jewelry are and that sort of thing, and finding out who's going to get what and shipping it out to them, and making sure that when we're done, especially if we're clearing out a home, that it's ready for Alison to do her realty magic. So she takes care of this beautiful structure and the grounds. We take care of what's in it.
And so Marty, walk us through who your typical client is and what kind of roadblocks or impediments or emotional, I don't know, coming together of minds that doesn't always work out, and how you overcome that.
Well, it's interesting because whether it's a parent who's looking to downsize and perhaps move into a later life living community, or if it's children having to deal with a parent who has passed, it all comes down to interesting family dynamics, because the closest of families butt heads over stuff. Just trust me on that. And so it helps to have a professional to kind of be the neutral party, and also just because it becomes so much more efficient, especially if someone's passed away. Because what you're not told about is that there's this massive amount of grief, and it's often very complex grief. And then immediately sometimes within a couple of weeks, or hopefully at least a couple of months, you suddenly have all these things that you have to do and take care of while you're suffering from all this grief. And trying to go through things and figure out what's important, what's not, you get such fatigue. And the whole process of settling the estate or getting yourself moved into a great community where you will meet new friends, you'll be really well taken care of, you won't have to cook. But making sure that key asset, which is your home, is clear and empty and all of your items have been respected. Either they've moved with you, we sell, or we can sell or help sell, and donate items, and then clear out the things that help. There's always things to discard, so that again, Alison can step in and really take care of that home of yours and find a way to get it to a wonderful new owner.
And it's amazing that you also help with some of the paperwork that needs to be organized, because again, when you are shrouded in this fog of grief, it's very hard to think of where is this document, and not everybody is very well organized. So even if someone has left a space and belongings and documents clearly defined and labeled and stored, it's still such a challenge with that fog of grief. And Dina, we never want to think that something's going to happen to us and that we may need some sort of financial assistance program plan that we have put into place in case you can't work. So tell us a little bit about that. And I know it's an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of people, but it's a conversation that we're not having enough of. And so people are suffering and things are happening because they haven't had this conversation. So how do you bring this to a level of comfort, like a nice warm blanket around you?
No, you've got it, Allison. I mean, it's tough talking about not being able to bathe yourself, dress yourself, toilet, transfer. Those are not fun over the dinner table conversations. So it's important, though, to talk about a long-term care plan. A lot of people think that they just have to self-insure, or they think the government's going to take care of them, and neither of those are good options. So it's best to shift the risk to an insurance company. And the younger you look at it, the more leverage you get. So the more benefits you get. So in my ideal client is to start talking around 45. And it's usually women. Women usually want to talk more about protection and not being a burden than men do. But with long-term care, women have a tendency to outlive men. So naturally, women are concerned that, oh my gosh, what if I outlive my spouse and then I don't, have resources, or I don't want to be a burden to my children.
Well, everybody that's watching this, hopefully will have some understanding of this trifecta of life and how we can maximize the time that we have. And we never know, as Dina said, we never know how long, how short, how much help, Marty, we're going to need in the process. And Marty, one last question before we sign off. Do you help organize people's homes if it's not something tragically precipitating the event?
Absolutely. We work with people of all ages. Truly, we love to work with people who just need to organize their homes because their kids are growing up, things like that. Our sweet spot happens to be working with older adults, but trust me, with dealing with people who hoard, and the dynamics of not only the family dynamics, the generational ones that come with later life, and also dementia, things like that. Believe me, we can tackle your home because we handle that so well. So yes, we do that as well. Thank you.
And Dina, any other area of your business that you'd quickly like to talk about?
Just protection, life, long-term care plan. I have all the carriers and I'd love to have a conversation. I sleep better at night knowing everyone's protected. But I want to throw it back to you, Allison. I know how amazing you are, but you're so much more than a realtor. Tell us about you.
Just again, seniors have a very soft spot in my heart. And I love what I do. I love my clients. I know it seems like such a corny phrase, but it's true. You, Dina, sleep well at night. I breathe this joy every day when I drive around the neighborhoods that I know that my actions have impacted. I've brought people to neighborhoods that have changed these neighborhoods with their children. And it's an amazing feeling. And I love it. And I have boundless energy. And I can do it all over the world when I travel. And then also what some people don't understand about me as a realtor who's licensed in California. Through RE/MAX, we have agents everywhere, all over the world. And case in point, today, I got a note from a client whose property I sold in Redondo Beach. And then he ended up moving and retiring to the desert and then to Portugal. And I helped him every step of that path to get him to, he and his wife, to Portugal. So all purpose, locally grown, but globally known. So ladies, thank you so very much for this. And I'm going to stop recording here. And I wish you a wonderful week, and let's get some protection. Let's work together, the trifecta of life. Bye.